What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Steep Stuff Podcast. It's a happy Tuesday indeed. Excited to bring you guys an episode today with Grant Colligan. Grant is happy to catch up with Grant in the midst of his 2025 mountain running season, where Grant's already taken a top 20 finish, well, really top 15 finish of the Broken Arrow 23K. He's gotten himself just off the podium at the Adidas Terex GoPro Game 20K, and he's in the midst of a Euro trip right now where he just finished up the Golden Trail Series Alpen Glacier race that was this past weekend, and he's getting ready for Series and All, which is going to take place in just a few days. Super fun to catch up with Grant. Talked to him a little bit about his running journey. Grant's a graduate of the Colorado School of Mines, so we talked about what it was like both running cross country and track for that program. And he's also a coach there, which is kind of cool. So we talked about what it's like just coaching young ones and watching young guys kind of come up and seeing how many people are trail curious these days as people start to realize you can do more in the trail space and kind of make a career out of it. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this one. Big fan of Grant's. Excited to see what he's going to do with the rest of his season as he'll be showing up at Series and All this weekend and then Mammoth Trail Fest later in September. So hope you guys enjoy it. Without further ado, Grant Colligan.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
People, what's going on? It is summer, guys. Super exciting. Adventures in the mountains, summer races. It's about that time to start thinking about your gear. I want to say our brand partner, Ultimate Direction's got you guys covered. Pop on over to ultimatedirection.com. Check out a whole quiver and new vests and belts that have just dropped. Pop on over to check out the new race and ultra vests. Race vest in a 6-liter, the ultra vest in a 12, and beautiful new aesthetic colorways. Definitely dynamic and stretchy, cool new materials. Definitely something that can definitely buff out your kit for 2025. On top of that, we did just drop a brand new pull quiver that's compatible for all of these vests. Definitely something you're going to want to add. And if you're not a vest person, pop on over to the belt section. You can check out the utility belt and the comfort belt. The utility belt is a little bit more of an ultra belt, more storage capacity, a little bit thicker, and ability to hold poles. The comfort belt's a little bit smaller. Think sub-ultra or workout maybe oriented belt that's going to hold your gels and your phone. Still super durable, but just a little bit tinier for those smaller adventures or maybe shorter races like a Cirque Series race or something like that in the mountains. So pop on over to ultimatedirection.com. They have you covered for all your hydration solutions. Use code SteepStuffPod for 25% off. Again, that's SteepStuffPod, one word, for 25% off. Ultimate Direction's got you covered. And if you have any questions, shoot me a DM. Let me know. I'd be happy to answer any product-related questions for you guys. So thanks so much. Check out Ultimate Direction. Grant Colligan, welcome to the Steep Stuff Podcast. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, going great.
Dude, stoked to have you on. I feel like, it's funny, one of my frequent co-hosts, Nick Tusa, has brought you up a bunch of times in like race previews. Like he lives not too far from you, I guess outside of the Golden area. And he's always talking about how you're at the top of most of the segments in that area. He's like, you got to get Grant on. So I'm glad that we were able to do this one and finally have you on. You've had obviously you've had a lot of really consistent results in your trail running career. I feel like this year, after a top 15 finish at the Broken Arrow 23K, as well as, some solid performances, as well as like not Pepe's face off at the, the GoPro Games 20K. You've done a lot, dude. So definitely warrants a conversation to talk about running and stuff like that. So yeah, glad to do this.
Oh yeah, I'm glad to be here. Yeah,
Maybe give me. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, sorry, all good, really.
I was just gonna say, maybe give the audience like the 5-minute elevator pitch on like your running background and your relationship with running.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the thing to know about me is I'm originally from Michigan, so I didn't really grow up in the mountains or really trail running. I mean, I ran on the trails in Michigan, but that's dirt paths and county parks and that sort of thing. But I was recruited out here to run cross country and track at Colorado School of Mines. I had a great career there. Had 10 All-Americans. I still help out coaching. But my collegiate career kind of ended and kind of just in a weird way. In my final cross race, I got tripped like 400 meters into the race. And from the front, so I was leading and I got tripped and I stood up and I was like in 100th place and had to march back up and I finished something in the top 15 or whatever, but I was trying to win that day. So that was the end of my cross career. And then I got hurt from that race, so I didn't run for a year. And then I came back for track. But that year was 2020. So I was standing on the track getting ready for we were doing like pre-meet for the 2020 indoor meet, and then the meet was canceled. And so that was the end of my collegiate career, was getting tripped in a cross race and then not even being able to race in indoor. So I left collegiate running not really fulfilled and not really feeling like I showed like what I could do. Had a couple years of not really like knowing what I wanted to do, and then started jumping into trail races kind of in 2023. Did some fun ones, did one Mount Blue Sky, my first, that's not really a trail race, but that's a mountain race. Got destroyed in Pikes Peak, ran at Mammoth, and then kind of got hooked at the Moab Trail Half Marathon. I got a podium there, third my first time out, and that kind of hooked me in. Like, hey, this stuff is kind of fun. You can run hard and still do the technical stuff, and that's kind of what pulled me in. And then since then, just been kind of with the support of the trail team club and Andy Wacker, just kind of hitting that sub ultra kind of distances. I did run a couple 50Ks, but that was more just like to kind of see if I like it. They're okay. But the sub ultra stuff is kind of where my heart is. I mean, when I started this stuff, kind of Andy asked like what is your goal with everything here? And it still is. I want to win a U.S. mountain running championship now. Like now, even since 2021 or 2023 when I started, it's so much harder. But that's kind of the focus, and that's kind of me. I like running hard for like an hour, not running hard for 4 hours, and that's kind of where I'm at.
I feel
right now. Yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say, what part of Michigan are you from?
I'm from the Lansing area, so Holt, Michigan is. Yeah, go ahead.
I did an internship in Ann Arbor, so I'm like pretty familiar with it. Yeah, I love Michigan. It's super fun, super fun place. Great state.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's freezing in the winter, unbearably hot during the summer, and then just wet the entire rest of the year. So it's a little different, and especially in the like center of Michigan. Up north, and the UP is amazing. I always love going back and traveling, but it's tough to leave like Golden and go back to Michigan, and it's just like it's not the same.
Especially during the winter, like like you don't see the sun for like months on end. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ann Arbor was fun. Like Ann Arbor, it's like a college. It's obviously UMich is there. It's like a college town. It's like a giant party. That's a good time. Good breweries and stuff. But I had special memories in Michigan. Good place.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Let's talk running. So, goal is to win a title. Did you weren't at Sunapee this year, were you?
No, I wasn't. I got a little injury before, and it was one of those where it's like I was running again, but I wasn't kind of going to be in the running for like making a team. And so I was like, okay, I'll stay back. I'll save some money and focus on like getting healthy and getting ready. And I think that worked out pretty well. I'm still not 100% or where I want to be, but the races I have run since then have gone really well. So I'm happy I left out at a weekend. And those East Coast races, I feel like you just got to get under your belt and figure out how to run those. It's so different than racing here in Colorado and on the West Coast. yeah, I mean,
That's true.
I'm still focusing on that. I still want to run well at one of those, but yeah, this year just didn't make sense.
Well, dude, you had a great race at Broken Arrow, 23K. Obviously, this year was a Golden Trail Series race. Throughout this conversation, we'll kind of thread it back and talk about like the rest of your season, and we'll talk more Golden Trail. But dude, like last year you had a great top 20 finish as well, and this year you improved on it by a couple places. Like it must have meant a lot to you to have done so well at like such a highly touted race. Like what was the feeling like there?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yeah, going in, I was probably like 85% of the fitness that I wanted to be at. I put together like 4 weeks of training to get up there. I was including like the GoPro games at Vail. And really the goal for any of those races is you just kind of have to like, it goes so hard at the beginning in all those Golden Trail races that you have to measure yourself on the uphill so you have something on the downhill. And that race is it's kind of set up perfect for me where it's a lot of long runnable stretches. Yeah, it's steep. Yeah, you're going up for like an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 20 minutes or whatever. But you can kind of push that whole time. You're not really power hiking all that much. And it just felt great where I kind of got into a groove. There was a bunch of guys around me fighting for position early. And I just want to be like, dude, we have 3K feet of vert left on this climb. And you're trying to pass this guy for the third time on the second mile. So I just felt like kind of made me feel like an old head, or I was just like, oh, these damn kids.
These whippersnappers.
Yeah. But it's just crazy. I just got to climb. I did most of the climb with Sam Chalenga, which is like a weird experience. Yeah. You're like, this dude's run like a 26-minute 10K, and
That's
he's
so
like
crazy.
pumping more than I am. And yeah, just coming over the top, and I just felt good. And it was just a great race. And like, everything felt like it went right. And it's even when you don't have the fitness, sometimes you hit those days and everything feels right. And you're able to kind of put it together and get to the maximum of what you can on that day. And that's what I felt like that day was.
I always love seeing athletes come back and like be like 80-85% and then go have a great day, because it's like, it's like, it's interesting because even when you're at 100%, you think you're going to pull it off. Sometimes it doesn't happen, and then sometimes it takes these random days where you're not at 100% and you pull off what you didn't think you were capable to do. So if you don't mind me asking, what were you working through? Like what kind of injury?
Yeah, I pinched my piriformis nerve in my butt, and so it was a really annoying injury because I thought normally you get hurt, you rest it, and you like do PT and it gets better. But this was one of those injuries where the PT was like, if you don't stop, if you have like keep running more to get it to fix itself. So I like took a week off thinking it was a normal injury before I could see the PT, and that just made it so much worse. And so like I had to like ramp up through a bunch of pain to get up to like my normal running weekly mileage. And once I got that, it was kind of to the point where I could do workouts again. But it was just like a dumb injury where it was just something weird. Maybe I like sprinted too hard, helping out the Mines team or something like that, and it just pinched the nerve.
Do you sit
but I made
for work at all?
Say that again. Sorry.
Do you sit for work? Because I've seen a ton of people that like sit for work, but also like extremely high level athletes like get injuries similar to that. Like one of my best friends is a PT, and he's always telling me about these weird like injuries like that. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I do. I mostly work from home, but I have to fly a lot. So my guess is what happened is I like flew back from work somewhere and then immediately did like a speed workout the next day. And then normally you get like a little pain or something. You're like, whatever, I'll keep going. And I did that. And I must have like really irritated it. But that's my guess is, just sitting in the plane. Work from home, on phone calls and stuff, I walk around enough that I would think that I'd be okay. But who knows?
Dude, nerve stuff is crazy, man. I've been going through it like with like what I originally thought like I had like a broken sacrum, and like then it turns into nerve pain, and there's this, that, and the other, and like, dude, nerve pain, like, it like manifests itself in the craziest of ways. Like it's not fun.
No, and it was the PT just saying like, you just need to run more, and I'm just like, what do you mean? Like that's not injury prevention. It's just running through the pain. And he's like, no, it's one of those where it's just like run up until you think the pain is too much, and then you can keep going. It's going to be like you'd have to go really far to make it significantly worse. But it's just kind of not something I experienced before. And that kind of pushed me back out of there for a couple of weeks.
Gotcha. No, I feel you, man. But in the lead up before Broken Arrow, you ran what is it? I keep getting it wrong. The Adidas Terex is the GoPro Games 20K. Dude, you beat some dudes there that day. Like that was a pretty deep race. Like maybe talk about that and like kind of how that race went for you.
Yeah, that was a test of my butt. Essentially, it was get out there and see what I can do, and it just went really well. That course suits me really well. There's not really any technical descending, but there's a good amount of technical climbing, and so I was able to kind of like latch in and just climb really hard. And then with the rolling downhills, I could kind of use the fitness and keep running. Yeah, it was the big thing. One of the boys that was on the mines team kind of jumped in there last minute. His name's Paul Knight. He's kind of, he'll do more trail. Yeah, he'll do more trail stuff.
Yeah, he's got on the podium of Kendall Mountain. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good trail runner. He's just getting over his college running now. But my thought was, hey, I gotta show that there is some like trail running like skills here, because this kid, he's like a 28:50 10K, so he's really fit. Okay. Yeah, and he's coming right off track season, so he had the fitness, and it was kind of like he launched off on the uphill, ran with Cade and the other guys going out real hard, but then on the descent I was able to catch right back up, and that always feels good. But it was one of those where I was kind of running away from him in fear of like, oh, he's going to show up and start sprinting by me with all this track speed. But that was a big kind of, I don't know, say ego boost or just like delayed gratification of, hey, there is like a trail running skill here. It isn't just fitness. And so I can come in at kind of 85% and still race against really fast guys. I mean, Jesh was there too. Like Jesh is a great trail runner. But it was, that course suits me really well. So I think that's one caveat to all of this. But overall, it was just kind of one of those days where it was, I felt good, was running a little scared, because then you kind of need to beat the new guys.
Dude. Yeah.
And it just like, I hit everything correctly there, and it just, it worked out well.
No, amazing. Like I said, you beat some studs there. Seth Demore was in that mix. There was quite a few like amazing athletes. So kudos to you. Yeah, like I said, good confidence booster for Broken Arrow, and seems that things are clicking now. What's next? So I know you said next week or in the next couple. Is it next week? You'll be headed out to Europe, or is it the week after?
Yeah, next week.
Next week.
Yeah, there's the Glacier Pits in Austria, which is the Golden Trail race in Austria. That one's oh God, how long is it? It's like 25K. It's one of those. It's like it's probably gonna be like a 2-hour race. Then hang out for a week and then race Sierras and all, which it's a big race there. Kind of the goal in both of those is just score points to try to make it to the final. Kind of even though it's been a couple weeks since Broken Arrow, that I haven't made a huge jump in fitness. You don't get fit in 2 weeks, kind of thing. I've been able to train well, but just being behind from the beginning of the season, I'm still kind of stuck there. But yeah, the goal there, I mean, top 15 at Salmon Pits would be amazing. That should give me great points to try and make the final. And then Sears and all, I kind of have no expectations. Kind of Andy Wacker's kind of put the fear of that race in me.
What did he
it's one of those races. Well, it's one of those races you can go in super fit and super ready and come in 55th place. Like it's so competitive that you just kind of gotta be ready for that. And so I'm kind of treating it more as like a 50K than I am one of these regular Golden Trail races. It's you essentially do 2 VKs to start the race and then traverse over and go back and go into the town as an all. So I'm gonna go in. I'm a pretty good climber. I feel like I'm a pretty good climber. So I'm just gonna get out there, kind of get into the grinding climbing mode and hope for the best. There's some time incentives that the elites have. Try to hit some of those. But I'm not going to go in with an expectation and say, hey, I want to be top 30. That'd be an amazing day. That pretty much guaranteed I make it to the Golden Trail final, but just be there, compete as well as I can on that day. Luckily, the temperatures don't look crazy hot, so that should be good for me. And just get out there and race.
Is there one you're more excited for? Like, I feel like Series and All is like it's our Super Bowl, right? For Sub Ultra,
Mm-hmm.
like it's the like probably the most competitive trail race on the planet, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Are you more stoked for one or the other, or are you just kind of in awe of like we'll just roll the dice at Series and All and see what happens? Or
yeah. I mean, it's Sears and All. It kind of reminds me of like a marathon major. Like there's so many people, and then the elite field is like 150 people.
Yeah.
So there's so many like races within the race going on that I feel like it's going to just turn into you're kind of battling yourself. And if you have a good day, you're going to have success hitting the times that you need to hit and that sort of thing. So I'm excited for it, but I do well personally when I go into a race and it's just, hey, how can I make this the best day for me? And that's kind of how I'm that's the headspace I'm in kind of going into it right now. I feel like last year I kind of got too amped for some of these races, like excited, like, oh, I could race to win. And that's kind of when I had issues. So if I can go in and just kind of, be there, be the best that I can be on that day, then hopefully good things will happen. But yeah, it's crazy that like having a trail race with like 10,000 people is something so different than any race that I've ever experienced in the US. I mean, the biggest is like Pikes Peak. That's got to be like the biggest trail race in the US. And that's still like,
yeah, it's like 700, 800, something like that. It's not as crazy as you'd think.
oh, really?
Broken Arrow is bigger. Yeah, I'm on the board of Pikes. That's the only reason I know. Like,
really?
race is like 700 or 800. Like, it's not
Okay.
not as big as the 23. No, I'm sorry. The Ascent from 2023. You might have thought it was big probably because they packed it to like the fullest brim it could possibly be packed with the athletes. And that was probably, dude, still to this day, that probably was the most competitive race ever assembled like on American soil. Like the Ascent this year at Broken Arrow might have come close, and the 46K might have come close, but like, still that might have, I think it still holds the title as far as like, if you're to rack like all the ITRA scores and everything all together, I still think the Ascent holds the candle. But yeah, Broken Arrow and the Rut's actually a big race.
That was right.
Yeah.
I mean, but Broken Arrow is split between all the races. So
That's right.
No race is like huge. But yeah, I mean, having like 10,000 people in a trail race is going to be so different. Yeah. I think that'll suit me a little bit, just because if there's 10,000 people covering the same ground, it can't be that technical. Like, I've never been there. That's the other thing. I'm going to this blind, so I'm hoping that it's I can just climb and just kind of feel good and not really have to worry about kind of route finding and all that stuff that a lot of the trail races in the US ends up being. Because even if it's a big race in the US, you still end up racing like 5 other dudes. And so it's like, a big part of that type of racing is route finding, and that's energy you can take away from it. So I'm just, it's going to be weird kind of being in a big pack on that climb and just kind of turning your brain off and just like pushing. I've gotten lost. I've gotten a lot. I've raced up, or I did the Pikes Peak Ascent and did Bar Trail, and both times I got lost at the same spot, even going up Bar Trail. What did you make?
You went straight where you should have made a left on. You probably went to the experimental forest where it's like when you split off Ruxton and go up, and it's at the top of the W's. You can make a left to go to Bar, or you can go straight, and it's like more on a road. Is that where you got lost? There should be somebody there. That's interesting.
No, it was in the Bar Trail race. Or the Bar Mountain Trail race, Bar Trail Mountain. Yeah. I just like was running behind Joe and looked down and then looked up and I couldn't see him. And then I looked around and I said, "Oh, I'm not on the trail," and turned around. So that was the first time. And then the Pikes Peak Ascent, I kind of did the same thing, like right when you came off a tree line. I'd like looked down, wasn't really paying attention, and just was like way off course again.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. All right, well, I hope Pikes is listening to this. We got to put more people on the course to keep that from happening.
I don't think it's a course issue. I think it was just a me issue. I was just pushing too hard, and you see the red mist and even signs and stuff. You kind of go around.
Your vision starts to go. That's fun. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, dude, it's Pikes is fun. Do you think you'll ever go back to Pikes? You think we can get you?
I think so. It's just fitting it into the schedule. it's tough. I like the hill climb style of race. I think that's like my favorite kind of race. The not like a VK, like longer than a VK, like maybe yeah, like anything over like 5, 6 miles and a lot of climbing. But it's Pikes Peak is just so hard because it goes so high. It's like I feel like if I did it again and really like wanted to make it a focus, I'd have to do like a training camp up in Leadville or
You got
something
to
and
project
just
it. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
get
I
used to
feel.
being
Yeah,
yeah, getting used to being up high altitude.
yeah, I feel that way about like any of the high altitude races we have in Colorado. Like most of them,
Mhm.
like for instance, like Cirque Series A Basin. Like I get asked all the time,
Mhm.
like, are you going to go race that race this year? And I'm like, yeah, but I got to go spend time like on my
Mhm.
weekends, like training at 12,000 feet to like feel
Yeah.
comfortable at that. Cause I'm
Mhm.
in Colorado Springs and you're even lower. You're at what? Golden is what? 6,000, 5,000 feet, something like that.
Yeah, my house is yeah, it's like exactly 6,000.
Exactly
Yeah.
6. So yeah, you're in a similar boat. So you got to go up and actually go train, which is,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's a kind of a pain in the neck on the weekends, like unless you want to specifically go into the high country. And it's like, that's a very specific type of training you have to do. Like you actually have
Mhm.
to, it's not like I'm just going to go like, mess around at 12,000 feet. Like I actually have to do like a workouts up there to actually
Mhm.
like get used to it. Yeah. I don't know. Like it's tough it's like we have two Colorados. We have the front range and then we have the
Mhm.
mountains and it's like two
Yes.
completely different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guys up in Boulder will say it's bolder than everywhere else, but
Yeah. Yeah.
we know the truth.
Being a Golden
Yeah.
guy, do you throw a little shade at Boulder? Because a lot of guys train out of Boulder. Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I do a little bit just because it's fun.
Yeah, yeah,
It's, I mean, yeah, there's always the joke that if you want to get good at running, you leave Boulder. But uh, no, I mean, it's just one of those spots where it's everybody is there. So I end up training with a couple guys up there. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's I think being in Golden and going to mines, there's a like a specific like grittiness to being kind of in Golden. We really don't have like any like flat dirt trails here. Everything is kind of up or down, and that's kind of the style of running we do here. So it's a little different than Boulder. But it's yeah, I mean, yeah, we like to throw shade, but I mean, when famous athletes come to Colorado, they go train in Boulder. So
it's true. It's
there's
true.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, I throw the jab when I can just because it's fun.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Boulder's still great. They got good
Yeah.
stuff. What is your training like, man? Like, do you do? I gotta be honest with you. I did not lurk your Strava before this, but like, are you more do a lot of workouts on the roads? Do you do a lot of stuff on the track still? Do you get a lot of time in the mountains? Like everybody's training is a little bit different. So what's your style?
Yeah, most of my training is I still use kind of the system that I had in college where it's like two pretty big workouts a week and then a long run. And then the rest of the days are recovery days, that kind of thing. But yeah, most of my workouts are still kind of on the flat or like short hill stuff. I'll do like a hill climb like on a road or something, that sort of thing. Um, and then kind of all of my other runs are on the trails. So that's kind of how I do it. Yeah, I don't do specific trail like workouts anymore. It's one of those things where I feel like kind of at the high level, you still have to be a really good runner to be a good trail runner. So just kind of doing all the same stuff that you do for track is you got to get your VO2 max up. You got to be used to sprinting. Like that's a weird one that like yeah, the Roche crew they like doing their strides, that kind of stuff. But that is true. You need to kind of still be used to being fast. So that's kind of the focus more. And I still jump into a lot of road races, kind of on top of trail team stuff. I'm on kind of a little club here, 5280 Distance Project, and so I'll jump into the USATF Colorado races. So I'll go race like a 5K on the roads or like a half or that kind of stuff. Yeah, a lot of those races, it's like I'm like right behind the elite guys. So like they'll run like a 14 like 20 5K and I'll run like 14:50 and be happy with that. That's good fitness for that day. But yeah, it's I want to be a good runner and then make sure I'm still comfortable. Kind of downhilling is the other part of it. So that's kind of my focus. Kind of going into big races with a lot of vert. Normally, I would do like long runs with a lot of vert. Right now, because I'm coming off this injury on my butt, I haven't been really able to do that. But um, Broken Arrow and GoPro went pretty well, kind of doing just flatland training. So I was like, let's just make it through these 2 big races, kind of not doing as much vert. And then after that, I'll start kind of mixing that back in again. But yeah, I'll run like 80 miles a week with like 5,000 to 10,000 feet of vert. So not a ton. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Do you work with a coach at all, or are you self-coach?
I like to say I'm coached by committee. Yeah, I do most of the training myself, and then my college coach, who's actually been a U.S. mountain running champ, Chris Seamers, he'll help me out kind of on specific stuff. But with I'm just busy with traveling for work and stuff. It's always been just, yeah, I structure it the same as kind of I've always structured it, and kind of ramp up and ramp down. But yeah, I'm self-coached, but with a lot of help.
Nice. I want to bring it back to mines, because like I had a professor. I studied geology in undergrad, and like I took a bunch of engineering classes, and I had a professor that got her PhD, or I forget if she did undergrad, or I forget, but anyway, she went to mines and loved it. Like the experience was crazy, and she really enjoyed it. What did you take away from it? Like, did you really enjoy going to school there, and was it a good time?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it a lot. I was there for 6 years, so that says anything. But it's, I don't know how to. I'm a metallurgist kind of by day, so I do engineering kind of as that's my main job, and then running is my second job, I like to say. But the mines kind of sets you up to be someone who just kind of, it's weird to say, just does it. I've had kind of engineers underneath me that have gone to other schools, and if you ask someone to do something, usually mines grads, I don't know if it's a function of the type of people that like to go there, kind of like the outdoorsy kind of ish people and the engineering people stuff, but they just like, they can, it kind of forces you to think through stuff really quick and then make a decision and just do it. And I enjoyed that a lot. It's a hard school. Well, I guess I don't know if it's the same as now. When I went, it was kind of a hard school. But I did grad school there too, and it was just fine. But it's one of those things where it's like, you're in such a pretty place that you can go do these hard classes, go kind of run hard being on the cross and track team. And then afterwards, you're still in Golden. So you still get to hang out and see the mountains, go hang out by the creek, go to the breweries and that sort of thing. I think that's a great kind of just a mix of being able to live there. I mean, it's the kind of, the Europeans talk about kind of like hanging out in a little village somewhere and just doing what you need to do. And that's kind of what I feel like Golden is. Now there's a lot more tourists than kind of when I went to school, but it was, you're just like there to do your school. You're there to run, and then you just get to exist in this cool place. And yeah, I like that a lot.
That's so cool. You know, man, I kick myself now living in Colorado. I've been here for like 5 years, and I'm like, damn, like, why did I not go to undergrad out in Colorado? Like, it is such a good spot. Like, I mean, yeah, it's a great place to live, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty freaking cool. What was the program like? Like, I know I've talked to a couple athletes that actually have gone through the program itself, or are still in the program. Like, what did you take away from like the cross country and track like program itself?
Yeah, well, I'm still a volunteer assistant coach there, so still around the system. I mean, we're highly accomplished now. We've won how many national championships do we have? 4. Yeah, we have 4 cross national championships. I won, or I was on the team. I was an All-American when we won for the first time in 2015, so 10 years ago now, and we've won 4 since then. It's a lot like kind of school at Mines. It's the kind of the goal of all the coaching and everything is give you every tool and every experience and everything around you to set you up for success, but you have to do it. And that's exactly what the program is. Now we're starting to get a lot more talented kids, but they're not like we're not fighting CU for the same kids. We're fighting MIT and kind of like smaller schools for a lot of these athletes. But it's a lot of kids that are pretty good runners coming in that just want to be good at running, and we're going to set up as best as we can to let you get better. And that's the big thing. Yeah, it's a pretty big team, so you have a lot of room to kind of dig in and just get better over time. And I think that's the big advantage we have, kind of even compared to a lot of these the fast D1 schools now with roster limits. They only can have like 9, or was it 12 guys, 9 guys or whatever.
Yeah.
So you show up, you have to be ready to go and contributing. And if you're not, you get cut. And kind of at a D2 school now, we can have a big roster, so we can take a chance on we have 4 good freshmen every year, and then maybe 5 or 6 that we're just taking a chance on. And it's it's up to them if they want to be good. We can't make you be an All-American, but we can set up and do everything we can to make sure that everyone has a chance to be an All-American. Yeah. That's kind of the motto for Mines cross country. The Coach Seamers, he ends all his emails with "Stay scrappy," and so that's kind of
I like that.
That is the motto. It's we're not on paper we're never the fastest team when we go into a nationals meet, but it's a lot of guys that want to do well, and that's something it's fun because you can coach everything else. You can coach form, you can get fitness in their legs, but on the day you have to want to do well, and that's usually the kids that end up being there. So I think it's a great motto.
How do you like coaching, or like being like helping out and being part of that team still?
I like it a lot. I mean, it's one of those things where it's you get what you put into it. So it's, if you're kind of there invested and you're wanting to see all these kids kind of grow up and get better and do well, then you get a lot out of it when they end up doing that. And that's kind of, that's the best part of it. After grad school, my wife and I moved to Minnesota for 2 years. So I coached high school there, and then came back and helping coach now. And it's the best thing for all of this is just seeing the kids get better. And it's never like the kid who's like already an All-American and moves up and he goes from 10th to like 3rd. Like, you're never that excited because that kid wants to win. And so it's tough because it's like, oh, it's 3rd. That's a great day, but they didn't win. It's always the kid who came in, who we barely let on the team, who didn't make nationals till his 4th year, but then he ends up like winning a random like conference meet or something. And that's more exciting than seeing the kid get 15 All-Americans. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love that. Are you starting to see like any seniors be like trail curious? Like knowing that like there's opportunities on the trails?
Yeah, I think it's more of an option now than like when I graduated. I mean, Paul, he went out and ran that GoPro race, and he seemed to like it. The hard part is everyone who it seems like wants to do trail is from Colorado or from someplace that had already had trail running before they went to school at Mines. So I think that's the hard part. And I think that's something that like Andy with the trail team is doing really well, is the only way to get these kids that grew up in the Midwest. I mean, Shay, who's from Indiana, she just ran Western States. She didn't like grow up in the mountains or anything, but she just fell into trail running. If the more eyes we get on trail running and the bigger that these kind of championships become and Golden Trail and all that kind of stuff, the more those kids in the Midwest and kind of in the Northeast and that kind of stuff see it as like an option of, oh, I can do that without living in Colorado or Mammoth or something. Like, that is an option that I can kind of aspire to be. And then when I get older and I have the option to kind of go wherever I want to go, that you can go to these places and start to get better at trail running. But it's tough because if it's not an option when you're kind of a junior in high school for you, it doesn't seem like it's an option when you're a senior in college.
Yeah.
But it definitely is. If you're on a college team at any level, you can run trails at a pretty high level. You just have to like make the decision to go do that. And just convincing people to do that is sometimes tough.
It's true, man. I feel like we still have the stigma that it's like a bunch of old dudes running around in the woods, but like, it's like, I mean, I just feel like the sport has evolved so much in the last few years, especially sub ultra has gotten so competitive. Like the VKs, your Golden Trail Series stuff, Cirque Series, like a lot of these races have gotten so fast So I think it's starting to provide more of an outlet for these D1 or even like just at any level collegiate athletes to be able to come in and have good performances. And it seems like steeplers do really well. I don't know what it is, but like steeplers it seems to be like a 1-1 transfer. If you're a good steepler, like you're generally going to be great on the trails, which is really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I steepled, but I was much better at cross than I was track. It's the, and Paul said this kind of after the GoPro games, Paul Knight, he said, it's running trail races is so different than running any track race, because in a trail race, you will pin your heart rate and then it comes back down. And so you're never really in a groove. And steeple is kind of that exact same thing, is you're in a groove for 5 steps and then you have to think, hey, like, it isn't just jumping. It's, oh, I have to move around this guy to jump, or I got to take a couple hard steps to get over this. And so it's the hardest part for steeple in my mind isn't really the fitness, because if you're a D1 track runner, you can run a 9 or an 8:40-minute 3K kind of no issue. It's that mental fatigue of, I still have to make a decision every 15 steps for 3 more minutes. And that's kind of a lot closer to trail running than it is like running a marathon on the road, where you just turn your brain off and try not to fall over.
Just go.
And yeah.
That's so true. Yeah, I think that's the best way, and that's what I've heard from a lot of people. I didn't run at the collegiate level, but like most of the people I've spoken to, it seem to think it's something with heart rate. Like it's the ability to just ping your heart rate, bring it back down, and focus, think. Yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know. It's I don't know. It's like this evolving thing where it just seems to be this pipeline of steeplers, just like for whatever reason, do really well at trails. One thing you mentioned, you've talked about Andy a couple times in the trail team. Like maybe just talk about like the impact that's kind of had on you, just being able to connect with Andy and the trail team, and that's how that's helped you evolve as you've kind of like entered this trail space over the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely think I wouldn't be where I'm at without the help of Andy and the trail team. It's mostly just kind of mentorship, advice, and community is the big thing. I mean, I'm not one of the trail team elites, so I didn't get any of the like travel money or anything like that. But just having the community when you go to these races in the US, where especially when it's a Golden Trail race and you're going up and you're running against the Europeans who all kind of know each other and will warm up and that sort of thing. You have a community there of, hey, this kind of does feel like this is a team. We're here and we're trying to run well. And that's the biggest thing with kind of what Andy set up there, is everyone is there to kind of run well and kind of feel good and and be a part of it. And then the other part is just kind of a little bit of mentorship from Andy. Coming to trail running like a couple years out of college is a little different than the rest of the trail team, like elite guys. Most of them were you graduate from college and you go right to the trail team. You have those kind of opportunities there. But Andy kind of helped me out, and it's little stuff. It's kind of just like, I guess the best way to give like one example is kind of the beginning of the year. My whole goal was make a world's team, and my big focus was the short trail, so the sub 50K distance at Broken Arrow. And kind of in April, I was starting to have a little bit of injury, a little bit of sickness, and I was just like, I don't know if it makes sense if I'm going to make this team or not. And I just like texted Andy and I said, oh, I'm thinking about doing this and switching over to the 23K. It seems like it's going to be a little bit more open. I have a better chance of kind of doing well. And he was like, yes, absolutely do that. That's kind of the best for you right now. And he's just so good at like those little things like that it's just helping out to push kind of my trail running career just forward every time. Because that's the hard part. I don't have a shoe sponsor. I don't have anything like that. So I need to be really smart with my decisions of what I want to do kind of in these first couple of years, of just make sure everything I do kind of sets me up to make the next step sort of thing. And Andy's been absolutely great about that. And everything else he does with setting up with the kind of with camps, going out to Moab, going out to Grand Lake, going over to Europe. It's just building that community and just kind of having kind of a group that is essentially the U.S. sub ultra scene is Andy Wacker's kind of entourage, essentially.
He literally has created like an entire, like his own competition. He just keeps bringing people on. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, Andy's the best, man. First ballot Hall of Famer in his own right. I mean, he'll go down as one of the greatest to ever do it. And then on top of that, like just the legacy he's leaving by like just bringing all you guys and just getting all these people like excited about the sport. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, yeah, it's he's kind of the godfather of our sport at this point. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everyone in the sub ultra like discipline now is connected to Andy in Subway. Essentially, it's like it's crazy.
Yeah. He's like I said, he's definitely on the American side, like one of the best people we have for the sport, like championing the sport at this point. Sorry, I lost my train of thought of what I was going to ask you next because I was thinking about Andy. Let's talk about like racing in Europe. Are you, because I looked your ultra sign up and a couple results like going into this. Like I didn't see anything from Europe, so this will be your first time in Europe then racing.
Yep, yeah, this will be our first time racing. Yeah,
obviously Broken Arrow and some other races like you've had a chance to race the Euros, but this is going to be on their soil. Like, what's your expectation for that? Like, obviously Europe is completely different. It's a completely different ball game. Like you got to readjust to the sleep. Like there's just like a whole lot going into it. Like, are you going to go out super early or just a few days before the race? Like, kind of what's your strategy, especially that you're like you work as well, so you got to take vacation time. Like how do you square all that away?
Going into these races, because it's kind of back to back, it worked out pretty well. I'm gonna go out like I leave on Wednesday, so I'll get there Thursday, so just like a couple days before. But I'm pretty used to kind of traveling really close to the races. Kind of with college, we were limited with how many days we could not be in class. That was like one of the rules of mine. You could only miss a certain amount of days of classes in an account. So a lot of these races, even nationals and stuff, we raced on Saturday. We would fly like Friday afternoon. So it wasn't like there was no turnaround. So I've been pretty used to kind of like just showing up, being ready to go. But yeah, this is going to be slightly different. I did race down in Mexico in the fall. The race didn't go well. Just it was a weird one, but I was happy with like the prep and all that. So that was kind of what I'm modeling this trip on. And it's kind of one of those things where it's just get out there, get adapted quick, kind of get your sleep in. The big thing is I want like 2 sleeps before the race, and so that Thursday night before the race, if I sleep until like 10 a.m., that's not a huge deal. Just have the body ready to go, and then. Luckily, both races are kind of in the middle of the day, like 11 a.m. are the start times. So that's not that much different than kind of here. Yeah, it's like 2 a.m., but you can see the shift there. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be our first time. I don't know what I don't know. I know like food and all that kind of stuff I'm pretty easy about, so I'm not too worried about that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's kind of I'm excited to see the difference in the style of trail running, especially running in Colorado with everyone coming up, kind of seeing kind of Joe Gray and Andy Wacker. Everyone kind of races that style of race where you go out really hard and then kind of try to hold on. I'd be really interested if that's a different style than in Europe. And then compare the difference between like their technical running. Talking to like people, it seems like Americans are really focused on the downhill, and so I kind of want to see if there is a difference there, dude. I don't imagine Europeans are bad at downhilling, but is that just like a real focus for Americans for some reason? So I'm excited to see that.
It's a good question,
but we'll see. Yeah,
it's funny, man. I feel like our trails are so like in Colorado, just so buttery. Like we don't have very technical stuff. So, and every time you go to Europe or like the East Coast, you're like, what the hell? These trails are so much more technical.
Hopefully it's a little drier than like my East Coast races, but I've raced in New York and did like Loon Mountain and that kind of stuff, and it's technical, but I think the worst part is just like the difference in the humidity there. and it seems like it'll be a lot cooler kind of in the Tyrol and Austria and then in the Alps. So that'll help me. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going for there for the first time, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to hear about the Austria race. There's a lot of athletes going out for that. Like a lot of Americans will be out there. So it'll be cool to see just like how the American contingent does and just how fun it's going to be. And plus it's a new race for like, or not like a new race, but it's a new Golden Trail race for this year. So obviously there's not too much beta on it. It'll be a little bit different and obviously beautiful alpine vibes and it's just different. It'll be cool.
Yeah, it is a little different too. It's set up, there's like a pros only race. And so it's like a 5K loop at the bottom with like 200 feet of gain. So like not much. And then you pretty much do a VK and then come down to VK and then do another 5K loop. So it's even different than like a lot of the other Golden Trail races. So even the Europeans that are there, it isn't like they're going to like know this course like Sierra Zinal. Like I'm sure half of the men in the Sierra Zinal field have run it like every year for like 5 years. So they know exactly what's going to happen. But in this Austria race, it's going to be, kind of new for everybody. And I think that's good for the Americans. And if it's somewhat runnable for a lot of it, I think a lot of us will have a good shot. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's fit guys going like Slim and Taylor, and there's gonna be fast guys there. So I'm sure we can get some guys in the top 10.
I got to find out if I know Dan Kurtz is out there. I got to find out if he's racing it too. Cause we haven't had a Dan Taylor, like, Slim matchup yet this year, which would be kind of fun. Like, I just want to see all the Americans just go at it. Like it's going to be a blast. And then again, against a bunch of the Euros. I know Remy's out cause he's injured, but like, Remy, Bonet, but like, yeah, it'd be cool. We'll see what happens, but should be fun.
Yeah. It should be great.
Let's back to you. I do want to ask one thing. Obviously, you're a professional in the sense that you have a full-time job, full-time career, you're very involved in your community. Is that a track you'd want to go, is to get a shoe deal and get a sponsorship? Is that something that you would be interested in?
I mean, yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah, just, hey, here's free money. Like I'll take free money, but I think it's more about like a validation thing for me. It validates that everything I've done, all the training and everything is it's for a good cause. The big thing that would help a lot is just money for travel. I mean, that's the big thing with trail running is it's, even if it's in the US, it's kind of to weird places. I mean, Broken Arrow is an easier one, but you still have to fly into like Reno and drive a couple an hour. So that's the big help, and I'm still kind of searching for that is travel money. So that's the big goal for kind of this year. But it's the focus for me really is kind of continue training, continue getting better, continue racing for a US title, and then try to make it kind of Team USA for international events. That's really the big goal, and getting those shoe deals so that you can have kind of the fastest thing right now, or even just having fresh shoes for after 2 races. Like those are the big part of it. So all of that is like the little stuff that builds up to it. Luckily, the trail team kind of does a lot of the stuff that like being a pro entails in a lot of these races. I mean, Carly helped a ton with bottles at Broken Arrow. So that's like those things of, instead of the Brooks rep being there, like hauling up bottles for their athletes, we have trail team people who are excited to do that for the trail team guys. So luckily I have that community there that can help to do that kind of stuff on race day, but kind of getting to the races and having it less of a financial impact for me is the big next step. So that's the goal for this year.
What do you like to run in? What kind of shoes?
Oh, I run in everything. I guess what am I racing in right now for like the longer races, the like 2-hour races? I do the Hoka, the Tecton X2s. I have a pair of the 3s. I don't like them as much as the 2s. And then for the kind of VK shorter races like Peppies or the Broken Arrow Ascent, I do the Merrill. Oh no, what are those called? Skyfire.
Skyfire. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing. Yeah. So those are the 2 racing, but training, I train in everything. The Nike Trail stuff is pretty good. I'll do the Brooks yeah, whatever I can get my hands on is kind of what I train in. The big thing I do is I just like to change around my shoes a lot. I'm not somebody who like found a shoe like 5 years ago and I didn't get hurt in that and stick with that. I change things up for like kind of whenever I can. I feel like that keeps me healthy. Yeah, I might get some blisters for the first couple of weeks. My feet might hurt, but I feel like overall that's a good kind of way to do it there.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, man. I've heard a lot of people like say that works for them to keep from, and it's like different sensations on the feet, but like it keeps you from getting injured. Actually, like it helps a lot for injury, which is kind of pretty smart. So
yeah. I mean, it's just not letting your feet getting used to like a shoe. We have trouble with that kind of with college kids too. Is they got a stress fracture 2 years ago, and they're convinced that it's because they moved out of this one shoe that they've worn their entire life. And they say, no, it's probably because you've worn that one shoe your entire life. So kind of getting everybody into kind of new stuff and that sort of thing. Luckily, the race shoes now seem to like, especially on the road, seem to shift around what's the fastest. So sometimes like Asics might be fastest this year, and then next year it's Nike. So it's I feel like it kind of if you're trying to chase those like marginal gains, it forces you to be in something new every year. Yeah.
That's so true. Yeah. Yeah. The super shoes, dude. There's some good stuff out there. But playing around with those new Saucony, the super puffy Saucony ones, I think it's the Endorphin. I can't remember if it's the Elite or the Pros. They're like super squishy. Holy shit. It's a fun shoe. But yeah, dude, we're at about an hour now. I appreciate it. I got a hard stop. I got to hop off and do the preview episode for Speed Goat. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope this is the first of many conversations. And yeah, man, wishing you the best of luck on your Euro tour. And hopefully we can link up for a run at some point in time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I need to get down to the Springs more. It's a little different terrain than here.
Yeah. Have you ever done the incline?
No, I've run up Pikes Peak and Bar Trail, and that's it.
Oh shit, dude. Yeah, there's a lot of good trails here. Like some techie stuff. Like you can get on. There's good variety actually. Like people think of like Colorado Springs as like a metro area, and it's like, there's a lot of good stuff. Like some good hidden gems. So yeah, I'll have to show you around. Sweet. Listen, Grant, appreciate it, man. Like I said, best of luck, and we'll be in touch, buddy.
Awesome. Thanks, James.
Yeah. Take care, man. What'd you guys think? Oh man, want to thank Grant so much for coming on to the podcast. It's always fun to catch up and let people tell their stories. Obviously, Grant is an extremely talented athlete, and I'm excited to see where things are going to take him in the future. So, guys, before you get going, you can follow Grant on Instagram. Give him a follow. You can find him at one of the best tags I have possibly seen on Instagram. That's G Money Hoppin. G Money Hoppin. That's G Money Hoppin. Give the man a follow, or you could just type in Grant Colligan. That's Colligan. Give him a follow, send him a DM, let him know what you guys thought about the episode, and send him some words of encouragement as the man himself takes on Series and All this week, which is no easy task for anyone unless you're Kylian Jornet. Yeah. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Before you get going, if you wouldn't mind, give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you consume your podcasts. We've got a lot of really fun things coming down the pipeline. Next week, dropping a really fun combo episode with the Sub Hub, which is an exciting one. Half of it will be released on the Sub Hub pod, and the half of it will be released on the Steep Stuff pod, which is exciting, talking about all things short trail / sub ultra. And then we have a Series and All race preview episode with a special guest that's going to be dropping this week. Podium finisher on Series and All, Bailey Kowalczyk, is actually going to be coming on to help co-host and provide just a lot more commentary on the race and hopefully get some more value to you guys as you preview the race and hopefully lock in your free trail fantasy picks. So hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Appreciate it for tuning in, and keep staying tuned for some good stuff coming down the pipeline. Thank you.